Hello again, friends and neighbors. Thanks for coming again to my Stella Hendricks channel where I review mostly vintage Playboys, but some other cool just collectibles that I have as well. Today, we're gonna do the December 1976 issue of Playboy. This one's pretty thick, but it does not have, in all of it, I searched through it. Do you remember how last time I said we were gonna start the hunt for star stow? Well, there are no star sightings in this one. I did find something kind of close though. I'll talk about that more when we get to it. And so Star Stow, she was the 1977 February Playmate, I'm pretty sure. So this is 76. But a lot of Playmates, they kind of hang around the mansion until it's their centerfold or sometimes after. So that's why I'm looking through the Playboys that came right before and come right after her, just trying to find some stardust. The model on the front of this, these girls are killing me, they're in their underwear. This looks like an ad for Skims. Doesn't she look like she's wearing Kim Kardashian skimwear? I think it's just Skims. I don't think it's skimwear. I think I made that up. Anyway. Oh, also, do you like my dress? I love this dress. I bought it a long time ago when I had broken up with a boyfriend and I needed to get my man back. And I'm just going to tell you that this dress, it did the trick. So I highly advise getting a I'm going to get my man back dress if your man is in fact worth getting back. It looks better now too because at the time I didn't have, you know, what I have now. And I still do, well I haven't in a while, but I hate calling myself an ex-stripper because that sounds like I'm trying to be above it. Oh, I'm an ex-stripper, I used to do that. F that, I'm totally a stripper for life, I love it. And I stripped for a long time with small boobies and now I have these great big ones. And I always wanted to be able to do this. When I worked at the club when I was the head of the itty bitty titty committee, I would get all my flesh together and try to push those boobies and they would barely kiss. And it was so aggravating trying to give motor votes to people when you'd have like nothing up there. But nowadays, it always makes me happy to do this. Hello, booby kiss, booby kiss. I'm gonna get thrown off YouTube. Okay, so the first thing that I saw was this ad. For some reason it reminded me of that movie Taxi, which is a movie that I'm obsessed with. So I had to put that up there first. Oh guys, the cover is coming off of this. I also don't get them in mint condition. I kind of get them when they're all beat up. I feel like it's more fun that way. You know, you don't have to stress out so much about keeping it in perfect condition and all that. Oh, Barbie Benton. I love Barbie Benton. We'll talk more about her in a sec because she comes up again a little bit later in this magazine. Oh, this picture is so cool. Are there any other Phantom of the Opera fans out there? This is in reference to some erotica. I don't know if it's a movie or a book, but it's something X-rated that was coming out. But doesn't that totally look like the Phantom taking Christine through the mirror in the beginning of the, is it an opera? I don't think it's a proper opera. I think it's just a musical. But oh, I absolutely loved that. I thought that was super cool. I always get nervous when I do these things. I think that I'm talking slowly and then I watch it and I was talking really fast and you could tell that I was nervous. So I'm gonna take a deep breath and go slowly. Someone pointed out to me that the Queen of England never rushes anywhere and she never rushes her words, that she's never in a hurry anywhere. Hurry is something that commoners do, apparently. And not that I'm a royal, but I do want to be well-spoken. And I think that's one good thing that I should remember to take into making these videos is to not speak too quickly, but also not to do what I'm doing right now, which is blathering on and getting on tangents. Dang it, I always do this. One of these days I'm gonna be good at this. It's gonna be incredible. You guys are gonna be so proud. Okay, so usually I like to keep these pretty light, but this had an interesting little thing in the article that I wanted to share with you guys, a little bit heavy for just a sec. This is on the Playboy forum, where they have sort of a letter to the editor type deals. Michael P. Bybee of Sacramento, California says, I am stunned by the letters in May and September Playboy forums advocating that women carry pistols and try to kill would-be rapists. What kind of jerk shits are these people anyway, advising women to kill rather than be raped? Not that I think women should submit to rape, hell no. But death does no one honor. The human life, in whatever form, is more valuable than anything. Everything you do eventually comes back to you. Rapists and would-be killers of rapists, take note. And here's what Playboy says back. Rapists and would-be killers of rapists, how about if we just let those two groups get together and work things out for themselves? Hooray, Playboy! I also advocate for the shooting and killing of would-be rapists. I don't feel bad at all. No, human life in any form is not more valuable than anything else. If you're a rapist or a child molester, then you deserve to be killed. I wouldn't even call that murder. That is self-defense. Women, carry guns in your purses, and when men try to attack you, shoot them. That's what I advocate for. And so does Playboy. Okay. Oh, I thought we were done with the heaviness, but we gotta be heavy for one more sec, you guys. Because look who is in this magazine. Speaking of rape and assault, oh my God. So, we don't want to spend too much time on this scumbag because he is literally just the scum of the earth, but there's one interesting quotation down here I thought I would bless you all with. I never infringed on people. I was just like Clint Eastwood. I only beat up dudes who deserved it, usually on Friday or Saturday night. If there wasn't no fight, it wasn't no weekend. Sounds like he had a lot of fun weekends with his wives in the future. Murdering asshole. May he rot. Oh gosh, there's the injustice of the world. It makes me so mad every time I just see his ugly, stupid face. His stupid smile of his. Ugh. Okay, let's talk about happy things. Ella Fitzgerald. It says that her voice can shatter glass. Okay, I've heard of this happening before, and I've sure seen cartoons where, you know, there's the opera lady singing and then the glass breaks. What is that about? Is there a certain note that you hit that can shatter glass? I've heard like if you go really high, it can shatter glass. I'm pretty sure it's just if you're really loud that you can shatter glass, you know, sound waves and stuff. And I'm not sure why that's something you would want to do exactly, but nonetheless, I also just love these old advertisements for now defunct accessories, and they have a lot of those in these magazines that I just love. I think it's hilarious. Everyone has a mustache. The 70s were all about the men having the porn stash. Like, I think 3/4 of the guys in these magazines have some kind of very bushy mustache going on. It's amazing. Okay, so I said earlier that we didn't have any star sightings in here, which alas is true, but there is a portfolio on Pompeo Posar. Of course, I had to cover up the female empowerment and beauty. Too much beauty in these magazines. We can't have that. But Pompeo Posar is the one who shot Star Stow's Centerfold, which is going to be coming up in the next year of these Playboy magazines in February. So that was, we're kind of like on the right track. I was very excited. I looked all through here. I can't show you all the pictures because I just had to cover up, you know, so much empowerment. And so I just thought this would be a good example of his type of photography. I really love the photography of the 1970s in these magazines. There's just something about that particular style that I really like. A very kind of fairy tale, very romantic, I think. You can see a lot of the sexual liberation of the day in a lot of these pictures. You know, they're not quite so posy and cheesecakey as the ones from like the early 60s or the 50s. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I love a lot of the cheesecakey ones. It's just definitely a different style. So, oh, and also her shoes. When we get to Star Stowe, you should look at her shoes. They all have these very fabulous chunky heels going on. Very nice. Oh, dang, some of the girls in this magazine. Another thing I like about the 70s is, not that I have anything against, you know, surgical enhancements, but everyone starts to look kind of the same. And one thing I really love about the 50s, 60s, 70s Playboys is that it's very, I don't want to say natural because natural is not the important thing, but everyone looks different. I know from experience working at the strip club that titties come in all shapes and sizes. They have all different colors. There's a huge variety of them. And I think that's one of the best things about them. And in the 70s, in these 70s magazines, before breast enhancement were really such a big thing like they are today, it's almost a prerequisite to get into the magazine from the 1990s up until about 2020. It was almost a prerequisite that you have to have some kind of breast implants to get into the magazine. And that's just dumb, because fake boobs can look really nice, but I can usually spot them from, you know, a mile away. And I really just like the variety that real breasts have. So girls who are out there who have, you know, they're on the itty bitty titty committee, don't feel bad about that at all. If you're like me and you always just wanted big old boobs, that's great. But if we all had fake boobs, that would be such a loss, I think. The variety in beauty is something that creates beauty, I think. You know, once there's a standard that everyone has to be held to this exact standard, it gets so boring and so oppressive and so dreadful. So that is one thing I love about the 70s in Playboy. You get a whole garden of breasts. This, I do not know what this is exactly, but it just cracked me up. It says now showing. I suspect that it is, oh, now playing. I suspect that it is no longer playing anymore. No one will be seated during the Black Mass trial of the Warlock. I don't know what this is, but I bet it's great. It reminds me of those Hammer horror movies from the 70s. They had all of these super cheesy vampire movies and like witch movies and werewolf, all of these super cheesy, super campy horror movies. They're just my absolute fave. I can watch them for days. I can roast them for days, really. The most fun thing about a lot of those old movies is how infinitely roastable they are. All right. Oh, here we go. The Playmate of the Month. Making Tracks with Playmate Karen Hafter, who thinks air travel is for the birds. Oh, I gotta show you the pictures here. Wait, we gotta. Can only show you the good ones. I mean, not the good, you know what I'm trying to say. Ah, gosh, dang it, you guys, hang on. Here we go. Okay. Oh yeah, I was so excited. I thought, are we gonna have trains in this pictorial? I think trains are so old-fashioned and romantic. I'm just obsessed with them. I'm obsessed with Murder on the Orient Express, and I'm looking up some kind of a luxury sleeper car adventure across America type deal to go on with my boyfriend. I just think that would be, oh, pardon me, so exciting and so romantic. All right. Like thousands of girls before her, Bronx-born Karen Hafter decided one summer day to cast her fate to the wind and go out to Hollywood. It was an impulsive decision at best. Hollywood just seemed like such a strange, exciting place, says Karen, a new frontier. She'd been working as a cook in a bar and grill in New Paltz, New York, to finance her college education and the prospect of another term of Dole classes, and then hunting for a dismal 9-to-5 job in Manhattan didn't exactly fill her with unrestrained rapture. So, Karen picked up her troubles, plus a change or two of clothes, and caught the first train to Los Angeles. She would have taken a jet, except that she's terrified of flying. Isn't that something that Kendra Wilkinson said too, that she was afraid of flying? And besides, trains are infinitely more romantic. Girl, aren't they? Oh, this girl knows what's up. They give people a chance to think, to dream, perchance even to fantasize. The journey lasted 4 days. I felt a mixture of things during the trip, Karen reflects. Excitement at the prospect of approaching a new life, and emptiness because I was leaving home for the first time. Again, like thousands of girls before her, Karen Hafter, upon arriving in Tinseltown, took a whirlwind tour of the place, and thereupon decided that if a girl wants to be seen, Sunset Boulevard is the place to be. So, without much trouble, she landed a waitressing job at David's Potbelly, a restaurant on, you guessed it, Sunset Boulevard, where who should stroll in one day but Anne Randall, our May 1967 playmate. She was staring at me from the moment she walked in, said Karen. Finally, she came over and asked me if I'd be interested in trying out for a Playboy centerfold. If she'd been a man, I might have said no. The rest, as they say in showbiz, is history. Looking back, Karen seems a bit awestruck by her own rapid success. I never thought I'd be playmate, never in my wildest dreams, she said. Well, looks like her wildest dreams have come true. Oh, this picture is just so perfect, so gorgeous. Ah, there's probably pictures over here I can't show you. Hear me. It's so gorgeous, so romantic. It has that great, like, Murder on the Orient Express with that train in the background. Oh, gorgeous. I love her. Yep. And again, we can't see the whole thing, but I can show you part of her centerfold. Dear me, we might have to edit this a little bit. Okay. Let's see, what do we have next on the list? Yes, okay, so I am a burlesque dancer here in Nevada and also in Florida, and I was so delighted to discover this little Miss Honey. Ba ba ba, ba ba ba, ba 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 ba. So that's the best part of this particular issue, is the stripper. 10 points. 10 points indeed. That should be the thumbnail. I'm gonna totally put her on the thumbnail. Okay. Oh, this lady here is from Tony Richardson's interpretation of Joseph Andrews, starring Anne Margaret. So this is Anne Margaret, I discovered from reading that, obviously, but it totally looks to me like Elle Fanning. Tell me you do not get Elle Fanning vibes from her. She totally does, right? Maybe they should make a Anne Margaret biopic and have Elle Fanning play her. Wouldn't that be cool? It would be so cool. Oh. Okay. Oh, just a random picture of Dolly Parton. I'm obsessed with Dolly Parton. When I see her, I always have to point her out. Okay, here we go. So, one thing I really like about the Playboy magazine is they always have the jazz festival and a music poll, so they know who to, you know, talk about or all that good stuff in here. So, of course, I'm most interested in the girls. Boys are so boring, in my opinion. Sorry, boys. But in here for pop rock, female vocalist, I'll list them off real quick and then I'll tell you who I would vote for. And you should tell me who you would vote for in the comments. Female vocalist, and I don't know all of them, so if I say someone's name wrong, please forgive me. Joan Baez, Maggie Bell, Karen Carpenter, Cher, Judy Collins, Chi Coltrane, Rita Coolidge, Kiki D, Janice Ian, Carole King, Melissa Manchester, Christine McVie, Melanie, Bette Midler, Joni Mitchell, Maria Muldaur, Olivia Newton-John, Laura Nyro, Susie Quattro, she's literally Susie Q, that's great. Bonnie Raitt, Helen Reddy, Linda Ronstadt, Carly Simon, Grace Slick, Phoebe Snow, Barbra Streisand. So I didn't know a ton of those, but of them, I would totally vote for Karen Carpenter. She has one of the most unique and beautiful voices I have ever heard in my life. Beautiful alto, and usually I go for sopranos. But also I found out recently from some YouTube video, so I'm gonna take this with a grain of salt, this guy was analyzing her voice, and usually when people sing, your voice has vibrato. It's what goes ah, kind of back and forth. And when most people sing that vibrato, it goes both sharp and flat. But with Karen Carpenter, one of the things that made her voice so unique is her vibrato was almost exclusively flat. Isn't that crazy? I'd never even heard of such a thing before, but that could be one thing that really, you can't say stands out because it's so subtle, but no, yeah, I guess you can. It's something you don't immediately notice, but taken with the whole package, it really helps her to stand out in a crowd. Yeah, so cool. Jazz female vocalist. I knew a lot more of these. Pearl Bailey, Shirley Bassey, Dee Dee Bridgewater, June Christie, Ella Fitzgerald, Roberta Flack, Lena Horne, Eartha Kitt, Peggy Lee, Miriam Makeba, Carmen McRae, Liza Minnelli, Odetta, Esther Phillips, Flora Purim, Della Reese, Esther Satterfield, Nina Simone, oh I love her, Phoebe Snow, Barbra Streisand, wasn't she on the other one? Go Barb. Sarah Vaughan, Nancy Wilson. So of all these, I know I freaked out when I saw Nina Simone because I totally love her, and it was a real toss-up between Nina Simone and the winner, Eartha Kitt. I love Eartha Kitt. There is nobody like her. She is such an inspirational figure. She's an actress, she's a singer, she's just a personality. Oh, I love her, the best. Iconic. Okay, last one. Country and Western. Female vocalist, number 1, Barbi Benton. I actually got her song, I think it's Brass Buckles, off of iTunes. And she's not my favorite country western singer of the 70s, but she is not bad. She's actually quite good, so I need to look into some more of her songs. But of course, it's Playboy. Who came first? Barbi Benton. Judy Collins, Jessie Coulter, Donna Fargo, Emmylou Harris, I know her, Brenda Lee, Loretta Lynn, respect Loretta Lynn, Barbara Mandrell, Jody Miller, Melba Montgomery, Anne Murray. Anne Murray's country? Olivia Newton-John is country? Bonnie Owens, Dolly Parton, Sandy Posey, Linda Ronstadt, Connie Smith, Tanya Tucker, Dottie West, and Tammy Wynette. Of course, who do you think is gonna win? Who do you think is my favorite person who ever lived on the entire planet? Dolly Parton! Of course, she is the winner. I love her. I love her music. Again, she's one of these people like Eartha Kitt, who's more than just a vocalist. She's a character. She's an actress. She's a force of nature. She's a phenomenon. She is just one of my absolute all-time heroes. So, of course, if we're just talking about singing, we have to remember that too. But when I go through there, I tend to consider the whole package, you know? This is so cool. So not only do they always show the newest stuff, but sometimes they like to show off some vintage pieces and these cool old cars. I think it's so funny to see people in the 70s renting these old cars. Because to us, you know, if we wanted to rent a vintage car today, we'd probably get something from their era, from the 70s. But in the 70s, you know, what was 40 years ago? Some of these old-fashioned looking Gatsby cars, you know? Oh, here we go. I wonder if The Great Gatsby had come out recently. That'd be one reason for showcasing all of this old stuff. That 1970s Great Gatsby with Robert Redford. And who is that skinny little... Mia Farrow. Yeah, she plays Daisy. She's also really good. I prefer the Baz Luhrmann one, the newer one, but I tend to prefer anything Baz Luhrmann. I love Baz Luhrmann. Baz Luhrmann, please make a movie about Dorothy Stratton. It'd be right up your alley. Because Baz Luhrmann, he always makes movies that have a tragedy in them, but yeah, they always have a big party scene in them, and they're always a lot of fun, and they have a killer soundtrack. And I feel like that would just be the most perfect. Someone needs to write a good screenplay about Dorothy Stratton. I am not in love with any of the movies that they have about Dorothy Stratton. They're very minimalist and cautionary tale and patronizing. I hate them. I like a lot of things about them. I think the actresses who have played Dorothy in the past have pretty much been really good, but just given the material, boring, boring, boring. Morality tales are boring. Okay, the last thing in our vintage Playboy for the day is, yay, photo contest. Do you want to be the next Playmate? What does it say? Your last chance to click with us. Well, I don't know if it'll be the last chance, Playboy. I feel like next year we'll have a couple of these contests as well. Oh no, I think there was some beauty on there I didn't cover up. Shh, don't tell on me. So, oh, I totally would have died over this back in the day if I was a youngling. I want to show it back, so. I pulled off my Band-Aid, you guys. Okay, doesn't this also kind of look like a Hooters advertisement? I feel like with the font or something, there's something very Hooters-esque about this. So, oh, I just love it. Unfortunately, I missed the deadline. It was December 31st, 1976, and I wasn't of age yet. I wasn't actually born yet. I wasn't a twinkle in my daddy's eye yet. I was not born until like a decade later or something, so. But yeah, so that is our 1976 December Playboy with the two lovely models on the front. And no Stardust, unfortunately. We got the Pompeo Posar in there, so we're definitely gonna keep an eye out for more Star Stow in our next one. Actually, in our next one, you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna get the Star Stow episode, issue, whatever the heck, and I'll introduce you to Star Stow because I feel like you won't be very invested in helping me on the hunt for Star Stow unless I can present her to you in the way that really endeared her to me, that there was something about her that just really clicked with me. She seemed like such a cool girl, and she met such an unfortunate end. And she knew a lot of famous people, so there's like little snippets you can hear every here and there that Hugh Hefner said, you know, a little thing about her, and Gene Simmons would say a little thing about her, and she gets mentioned in passing. I think that she went down to work for Michael J. Peter in Florida, but I don't know that for sure. I gotta find out. So this is the whole hunt for Star Stow, but next week we'll do this Star Stow episode so I can have you guys fall in love with her, and then we will all look for Stardust together as we're going through and enjoying all of these fantastic Playboys. Maybe sometimes we'll get sick of it and we'll, you know, take a break and we'll do something different, but that'll be a fun thing, a fun theme for us to sort of follow along for a while. So thanks so much for coming to another review of Playboy Entertainment for Men. Thanks for admiring my dress, my Get My Man Back dress. I really do look good in this like sweetheart. I think that's called the sweetheart neckline. That looks damn good on me, doesn't it? And I'll see you guys next time. Oh my God, I can't focus on anything ever, can I? No, I cannot. All right, y'all are the best. Keep it real. See you later. I want to.